slaying.
Salama family, salama. How y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So we're gonna be talking about some things tonight, and we got Brother Karras and Brother Rod with us, and Minister Tayu's on the way. Talking about what happened yesterday. Can I say I'm excited? Yeah, I'm excited. Some people might think that's strange, but hey. Anyway, so, I just left the Berean discussion between Minister Dante and Brother Mike. I have to say, in my opinion, I'm sort of biased. I think Dante winning, but I do think that they should have brought out more what under mean. Mike keeps saying we're under the law, right? We no longer under the law. Does he know what that means? That means you're not under its authority for salvation, right? For righteousness' sake. So I had to say that. I think that should have been brought out more because he's taking it out of context in terms of how people are keeping the law. Some people, because some people are Judaizers, in my opinion. So, Brother Karras, say hi. Brother Rob, say hi.
Shalom, salam, siemi, shalom. Greetings, Israel.
Greetings, family. Thanks for having me, Minister. Good to be here with you guys, and definitely a lot of craziness going on, and I'm excited too. They might say that's unpatriotic, but hey, I'm not a patriot for Babylon.
But Rob, why we excited, bro? Why we like that, man?
Because we've been saying this for a lot longer than me even, but we've been seeing this as prophecy being fulfilled. We know Babylon's gonna fall. We're in Babylon. This is just the beginning. It's gonna ramp up so much more.
Isn't it wild though?
It's wild. It's wild. And there's people that should be worried, and that's the non-believers, or the lukewarm Christians, the ones that aren't right with Yah, that aren't truly right with Yah, Yeshua. But I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Yah's people are doing okay through this. I mean, there's levels to being okay, I guess, but I mean, I think for the most part, Israel as a whole, as a nation, is still is doing better than say, I don't know.
I would say for 20 years ago. I think you're right, but then you got a few of us who taking that vaccine, and I think you're foolish for it. But anyway,
yeah.
You had something to say, Brother Karras?
Did you see the doctor in Miami Beach that died from the vaccine? He took it 2 weeks ago. He died. Just perfectly healthy. But as I was talking to you earlier, Jacoba, it's funny that this is all coming on the cusp of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement that just went in this last Monday, and all that stuff, takes off less than a week, after the New Year's. It's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence.
But they still saying there is no 400-year prophecy, y'all. That's what they keep telling me. I'm just saying. So let me show this video about what happened. This is just going to kick off our discussion as we go along. And then, we're going to continue the discussion. All right, family. So y'all see the foolishness, right? We talked about it. We won. It's coming to pass. What do y'all think are gonna happen next? I want the panel to give me their opinion. What they think gonna happen next? Hebrew girl, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So let's get our sister to give her opinion. So after what happened yesterday, my sister, what do you think is going to happen next? You think things are going to calm down? Everybody going to go back and watch TV and eat some steak?
Yep, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Because if they were going to do something, they had today to do it. They had last night to do it, and nothing happened. At least not that I know of.
So, brother Rob and brother Karen. So all these people that went in there and jumped into the offices of the senators and tore up everything from the floor up. Do they get to go home and eat some steak and be happy? I mean, what y'all think? Are a few thousand people gonna be going to jail?
Here's what I think of this. This reminds me very much of just recently the George Floyd protests, where and I know people are probably looking at it sideways, like, huh, how is this similar to that? But in the sense of there was a large group of people that had a reason to be out there, but then there were some provocateurs that took it to the extreme, and then it was like mob rule in the streets, and they let it go. Now the police and all the local authorities during the George Floyd protests, that when they went violent over a weekend, they kind of just let them wreak havoc because, and here's what I think, and this again is my opinion, that they wanted the chaos then. They let it happen so then they can militarize the police even more and lock it all down the following week. So I think it's basically the same play. There was a lot of people gathering. They had a reason to be out there. There were some, in my opinion, I can't prove this. I recognize it. It looks just like but basically there's some agent provocateurs that took it to the next level. They let it happen because they wanted to let it happen. Those people that went actually breached inside the building, they knew exactly where to go. Now remember, I have no dog in this fight. I don't care about Trump, Biden, whatever. I don't care about Babylon. I don't care who's president because I don't support any of it. I'm just watching from the outside. I do think that I do think that the election, I mean, I think all elections are rigged, but this one was as well.
Well, that's the thing. Let me ask you right quick, Rob. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't you believe from the foundation of this country that the election's been rigged?
Yes.
So the only problem is that the guy got kicked out, right?
Right. And so I also think this is all, it's not, Trump's not just some outsider that's, taking out the deep state or whatever. And now they're overthrowing him. He's playing his part. He's an actor in this whole stage, this political theater. So
Trump?
Yes.
Yes. It's all scripted, right?
Yes. 100%.
That's what I say.
They want this to happen. This election 2020, they've planned for this just like they planned for the virus. There's actually some kind of report, a document that was made a year ago that spelled out almost this exact thing, this exact scenario. So now what's going to happen next is they're now just like during the George Floyd protests where they let it happen. Then they militarized the police and really took to the streets. In some cities they didn't call it martial law, but it was equivalent to martial law. It was completely locked down. We're going to see that, I think, on another level. But I also think it's going to go to the even more extreme come the 20th. If you thought the 6th was crazy, I think probably the 20th is going to get crazier.
So let me tell you what I think, and I'm going to let Minister Taylor speak after this.
Mm-hmm.
What I think is going to happen is all these people who went in there, who ran across the line and went into those buildings, they're going to jail. Not only that, I believe this is going to be the excuse, because once those people start going to jail, they're going to start fighting back. There's going to be a resistance, whether or not you call it civil war, that's another thing. And the Democrats are going to try to take their guns. This is a good excuse to go after the right-wing conservative evangelical Christians and take their guns, and that's going to be what set it off. Minister Taylor.
Greetings, family. Well, if history is any indication, if they do go after, say, the leaders, then the rest of them will flee, right? It's scientific almost, right? You go for the head, and then the rest of the followers will flee. I mean, that's usually the scenario because no one else wants to take up the mantle and be the leader. But it was planned because the three-letter agencies, I mean, they almost have a Minority Report type of spy network where they will appear on your doorstep before you even make a move. But yet, you know, the organizers were able to get this far, right? So, yeah, it's definitely coordinated. I think what may have happened was they tried to go through us with the Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd thing to, you know, do this type of action, right? We refused. And so they turning to the next best group, which is the alt-right, who feel like they are losing their rights.
So, Karis, from a security point of view, when the Capitol Police and all of the security of the White House stepped down for the most part, was not prepared for the overrun. Like some people say, well, you know, the police couldn't do nothing, so you know there were too many people, so they had to let them through the barricades. But I'm like, you knew it was coming. You should have been prepared. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, shout out to Elephant Man Podcast because he was checking in on this, and there is a lot of video that was now circulating in the publications, and you see that the people were getting waved in by somebody that was in like plain clothes, and the police just sat there at the barricades and did absolutely nothing. And you know, they pushed past, and they had some sort of resistance for show, but I think that for the most part they literally just ran. And you know, I was looking at that and I said, you know, are they being passive because they're white? You know, that's the natural thing that a lot of us were thinking. Man, these white folks are getting away to, you know, get away with murder basically. But no, it was a little bit more coordinated, where it was they basically didn't have that much resistance, and there was you could tell that there was pre-designated entry points. You could tell that. And so, especially because here's the thing, you're not just gonna have a barrier, a gate, and just lay it across there, you know, to climb on up. You know, people are gonna stop you with that gate. People are going to encounter you and stop you with that, because that becomes now a weapon, you know? And on top of that, once somebody breaches a Capitol, an actual interior entry point, that's always met with a round going off. That's always met. And yeah, SB, no, you're right, SB. We had Carl Winslow. All right. Get Urkeled. That my man got straight Urkeled. Okay. He was trying to shout at people and everything else. My question is, why are you talking when the gun should be pointing?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
what else I want to know? Why did they show the black guy running away from a bunch of white folks, right? Oh, yeah. Running away, got the little clip.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, see, that's the imagery, and see what a lot of people don't understand. I think what it was, this is just me, I'm thinking what it was an actual legitimate coup that they tried to bring into effect, but it failed. Because you saw,
well, it was the poorest coup I ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it was just organized. You know, it's sad. It's sad, but again, like I told you,
I think it was all symbolism. I think it may have had an esoteric part to it, but it was all definitely sending a symbolic message.
Here's what I think. I think it was part of the script for the story to be told how America fell from within and how the people were unhappy with the current existing governmental structure. So they paint this story for the future of how America collapsed because they had the worst president in the world. So I want to get y'all opinion on this image here. Tell me what y'all think, because once again, The Simpsons got it right. All right, what do y'all think it is? What's y'all thought?
Wow, that's a good find. I didn't know about that. That's about it.
Is the picture on the left from yesterday?
Yeah.
Looks like it. And what's the picture on the right of? Is that like look, that's a Capitol building in the background too, right? Oh my
Yep.
god.
Right.
Predictive programming right there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
Oh, there's another one that shows Springfield burning to the ground basically, and it says January 20th, 2021. And Homer's sitting on the roof of his house and like.
Do you have that one? You can show it, Rob?
Yeah, I could probably Google it, but let me see. I saw.
Does the Simpson character have blue and red painted face? It looks like
Yeah, it's blue and red. Yep. I'm like, okay,
wow.
well, maybe somebody manufactured this yesterday. Maybe it's not legit. Let me know, family. I don't know. I haven't seen the Simpsons in years. Do y'all know if that image on the right is legit? I'm just asking.
Let me share my screen. Let me see.
All right.
I'll show you this picture.
Man.
So, yeah. Look, they got the Robocop robots over here with the U.S. presidential seal on it. But yeah, that's so that's been floating around. I don't know what episode that's from or what, but it's just something to think about.
So family, it's up to y'all to validate those images. I don't know if they legit. Maybe they happened yesterday. I don't know.
I
just
saw this
know
one a couple of weeks ago though. Just
did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in December.
Well, Simpson's always been right. I'm serious. So
Yeah, this one was
anyway,
after the election, sometime after the election, like sometime between November 3rd and like December sometime. I don't know when it was originated, but that's when I saw it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, Hebrew girl, what you think about these pictures?
Well, I don't watch The Simpsons either. I never have. I didn't like them. However, I know enough to know that they do predictive programming. I know that whatever is going to happen, they show it on there. So I think it's legit. So what happened? I didn't watch the activities yesterday as they were occurring either, because like Rob was saying, it was all planned, and I saw clips of it today, and from the clips that I saw today, it looked staged. It didn't even look real.
So some people say that Trump is going to leave the country. We see today that the talk on Capitol Hill is to try to impeach him. I'm like, okay, he got 2 weeks. Why are you trying to impeach him? Unless you just want to give him a poor legacy, right? It seems to me that people are now starting to turn against their favorite president because he's the one that told them to come there. He says, come down there. And he said, I'm going to be there with you and stuff like that. So I want to show this video, a clip from it, because it shows that his support is waning. But once again, all of them have been played. I'm telling you, the government is going to come for their guns. The government is going to put them all in jail. They've been set up. That's my opinion.
If I was there, I'd say, well, this is it. The showdown's coming. He's going to surround the Congress with 500,000 people and demand Nancy Pelosi come out. He's going to do something. I don't know what we're going to do. But Trump's a big talker, but he doesn't do anything. And he didn't show up at the Capitol. He sent the people ahead. Hey, you had senior citizens, you had women there in their 70s who could have been physically hurt. But it was all about the Trumps.
And the next instruction that the president gave them was what, Rick? Go home.
Yeah. And then he said, go home. I'm sending the National Guard out. Go home. Oh, after they've trashed the Congress, then I'm going to call out the National Guard. I want you to go home. These people spent money that they didn't have to spend on a trip to get to Washington to save the presidency of Donald Trump. And he goes, okay, photo op's over. The TV show's done. Go home. I'm done with you. Next, give me some more people that I can use for my ego. Personally, I'm glad he's gone. I really am. I told you a couple years ago, I got off the Trump crazy train. And a lot of people got mad at me. Well, I got off the crazy train. I saw pretty early into his administration, this guy's using people. Did I defend him against false accusations? Yes.
You sure did. And you're
Yes.
accused of being a Trumper because of it.
You can't win. You can't win. I defended him against false accusations because I said no president should be accused of crimes he did not commit. You cannot have a cabal. You cannot have an intelligence agency cabal of FBI agents and CIA agents and all these.
So it seems to me it's a little too late to jump off the train, right? Because all of y'all jumped on that train. Y'all the ones that put him in office. So now you hating, right? Now y'all turning against y'all favorite, quote unquote, whoever y'all want to call him, y'all savior, whatever y'all. Some of y'all believed he was going to save the nation, make America great again. You got fooled. My question is to the panel. Can they now step away from Trump? I mean, I'm just saying. Everybody else been telling you he no good. Everybody else told you he don't keep his word. Everybody else told you he's a racist. Everybody else told you he's all about himself. He's a narcissist. Is it too late for them to separate? I'm just saying, y'all built this. Y'all the ones that went down there. Now y'all in trouble. What's y'all thoughts?
Well, in my opinion, this is their country. They can hit the reset button and get away with anything.
I don't think they're going to get away with anything. I think they're about to get reset. But go ahead, Brother Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole anybody that gets behind blindly any politician, they're gonna lead you straight to hell. And I kind of mean that in a figurative way. I don't mean Trump's leading his followers straight to hell. Although I don't know, I just mean like to a.
You sure he not?
He could be, right? He could be, but I mean, like what is? I'm talking about anybody that's like there's extremes on both sides, right? And those are the ones that are like I stay way away from, and they're because they're extremists. But it's like what did that lead to? And this goes the same way for anybody that's blindly supporting Democrats or blindly just you hate anything that's Trump, so you'll just go with whatever's not Trump either. That's
so. Let me ask you, Rob. Can they jump off the train now? I mean, they're the one that allowed the train into the station. I'm just saying, people been warning them. I mean, they're the ones because he hated black folks, put him in power. Is it too late to jump off the train, or can they jump off the train? I'm just asking. I think it's too late for especially the ones who went to Capitol Hill. But that's
well, can they truly arrest everyone that went to Capitol Hill? I mean,
yes.
They're going to get some
figureheads,
concentration
camps and FEMA camps. Yes, they can do that.
Yeah, but they won't. I mean, they're going to get some symbolic arrest, and that's how they do, and they're going to call it a day. I'm not saying something else is not going to happen. I mean, 2021, like I said before, is going to be worse than 2020.
If it was black folks, we all be in FEMA camps.
Well, that's a guarantee, right? But it wasn't black folks.
We'd all be dead.
There you go.
We'd be dead.
Now, that's the reality. That's the real. No, we wouldn't even made it to the steps of the Capitol before they took us out.
Exactly.
You would have had those refrigerated trucks just stacked full of them.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they're. I mean, look at the pattern. I mean, all the things that these alt-right have done and have gotten away with. I mean, what is going to change? I mean, because here's the thing: you got a new presidency coming up. Do you want his first couple of months in office to look like a massive arrest of thousands of people.
I think you do. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
The reason why I think you do is because they've been waiting. The Democrats have been waiting to take everyone's guns. They did not have a right to take their guns because of the Constitution. Now they show a bunch of people who believe in the Constitution, who supported Trump, who went to Capitol Hill, who invaded the nation's capital. And guess what? Guess what? These are the same people that have thousands of guns. If you just get these people right here who went there, you're gonna eliminate hundreds of thousands of guns, right? I think they've been set up. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, unless they declare, complete full martial law, they don't have the power.
Hey, you also have to take into account here. There was a lady, and I think her mom. They were being interviewed, and in that interview, there in the street, as all the stuff was happening, the lady, well, she was white. She had said, it shows patriotism, or it shows being patriotic, and she was proud of it. She was proud of what was happening as it was happening. Now, let me tell you, this was even after she had found out, people were hurt and injured and killed. But see, we tend to not, we don't think in the mannerisms that they think. Because here's really what happened. Blood was spilled. Their blood was spilled. And you want to know what that means? That means that they're the ultimate patriot, because the biggest sacrifice was made for quote unquote freedom and liberty and justice, for all the things that the founding fathers had done. So, if they don't deserve to fight, then they don't deserve freedom. Do you see what I'm saying? So we kind of look at it like, and we do it in our and how our frame goes. As Black folks, it's like, man, I'm not going anywhere near that. Why would I want to touch something like that? They're going to do this, they're going to do that, and in their mind, look, all of the stuff that we have in terms of going out and having a nebulous, group think. That's not how they operate. And they're operating in a very narrow mindset of, this showed me that I need to bring more guns, or I need to be more tactically minded, or I need to have this and that and that and this. Hey, Billy Bob, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. Come on. You got your trailer ready? Yeah. And they're going to go. And I guarantee you right now, I-95, I-85, I-40, I-70, it's full of folks making these pit stops, and they're getting their behinds to the Capitol as we speak. Being self-sufficient, self-sustaining, having their MREs, having all their ammo, and they're going to show on out. Because
so, Karis, you don't think it's over yet? You think this is round two is about to come?
Oh, absolutely. Round two is absolutely, because you got to remember a lot of the stuff Trump didn't give the key words of stop. He just said, I'm doing something orderly. Well, what does orderly mean? We're going to orderly put things away. You see what I'm saying? We can orderly shut this Capitol down. We can orderly do what, these are the open-ended dog whistle concepts that we tend to just have shaped to us by the mainstream media. Oh, look, see, Trump said that he's good. Trump said that this. And I'm looking at this stuff when they're talking about a Trump advisor. Well, did that come out of Trump's mouth? No. Well, a Trump, somebody close to Trump, an aide. Did that come out of Trump's mouth? So now, here's the thing. Now, everything that they're saying from the media, now they're saying, well, guess what? Well, I'll be darned. Everything that the QAnon and all that stuff. Look what the media is trying to do. The media is trying to make us docile. And this is in our time that this country is in need. This is what they're doing. So you're looking at literally the play, because our play is, oh, okay, I kind of see what they're saying. They're tampered down. You got to remember, listen, they don't care about laws. Remember how we've been saying that? They don't care about laws, because laws aren't meant for them.
That's a
Laws
good
are
point.
meant for us.
Exactly.
And so when people are like, "Oh, they're going to get guns taken away," you know what they're thinking? Look, I made a little comment, you know, when the wall said, I said, that's the conquest of the Planet of the Apes. They did a little scene there. And I said, now, it sounds funny, but no, it's not. Because if you actually looked at those old movies, they would tell you, look, America went down because of this, because of that. And now they're thinking, hey, they're going to get my gun out my hand over my cold, dead hands, right? Oh, they're going down there because the shots were fired, the blood was spilt, and now they have to do their solemnly God-fearing duty in this day and age. And let me tell you this, there was a man that was there, he was on the steps, you know, there actually in the Senate, and he was taking pictures, and he did an interview. And he said, yeah, I was there, you know, I was just caught up in the euphoria, because they're caught up in the groupthink. They're caught up in the emotionalism. And guess what they're also caught up in? It's a spiritual concept. It's a spiritual nature. Look, you want to know what happens when people get ready to go into an operation? They get psyched. They psych themselves out. They get music. You know, they get everything that gets them hyped up. Well, we see that when you play any type of organized sports. You know, if you play basketball or football or anything else, you always have what? The music playing, you know, you're hyping people up, you're doing a little dance, you're doing something to get your blood pumping, that adrenaline is going. And then guess what? The person said he didn't really understand what was happening. He was just on the Senate floor acting a fool with the other hundreds of people.
Yeah, they got caught up in emotions, right? And they got swept along with the what they call it, the testosterone. Yeah. Right. That's why that girl got killed, right? She got caught up in that emotional thing. T3ME, welcome aboard. What you got to say? How's it going?
Salama family, Mambo family.
Greetings.
I'm just now joining, so I'm kind of catching up to everything. I have been watching what's been going on with the Capitol takeover, the coup attempt, or whatever you want to call it. I feel like it's more prophecy being fulfilled, just like in the first Exodus. Well, not the first Exodus, but the Exodus out of Egypt. The Egyptians started fighting the Egyptians, and you know that played a big role in why the country ultimately fell in the end. And so I see that that's going on now in America. You have the left, the so-called left fighting the so-called right, and the police. They're all basically brothers, and they're all fighting each other. So you know, a house divided against itself can't stand. So you know, this is just a time for us to be thanking the Most High and praising Him, and you know, thanking Him for bringing judgment upon Babylon. And I spoke the words of Jeremiah 51 yesterday. It's so important that we just continue to just speak the destruction of Babylon, because our words are very powerful. And continue to pray for protection and guidance during this time, so that the Holy Spirit can lead us. And so that we can hear from Him, and He can show us where we need to go and what we need to do.
Yeah, Brother Rob, did you have something you wanted to say?
Actually, not at the moment.
Okay, because I saw your mute was unminded. So
I'd say Jeremiah 50:51, that teaching Yakoba did comes to mind. And I'm thinking, you know, he did say that, what was the next thing? Civil War and then World War.
Oh yeah,
the path we're on.
We're gonna hit that. You know, I'm gonna talk about that as we go on. I'm gonna share this article with you. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but you know, as we were saying, a lot of people are basically jumping ship, right? They're jumping ship, and let's see. There we go. All right, so Trump administration officials who resigned over Capitol violence. Several officials announced that they were stepping down after a mob of the president's supporters disrupted the process of certifying the election results on Wednesday. All right, let's just skip down here, see who resigned. Elaine Chao, Mick Mulvaney, Matthew Pottinger, John Costello, Tyler Goodspeed, Stephanie Grisham, Ricky Nacetta. All right. And I'm sure there's going to be more on the way. All right. So as I said before, is it too late to jump ship? Right. I mean, they're doing it. Right. I mean, there's 2 weeks left in office. I think everybody looks bad after this. I don't know if leaving now. I mean, maybe it's still a good idea to leave now. I mean, be honest with you, because all hell gonna break loose, in my opinion. Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
I was just gonna say, you have to remember these people that are backing out also have political careers to think about. So they're really trying to save their own face, because even what's her name? What's her name? I think it's Elizabeth or something. Davos, the head of the education. She even resigned, and she was like,
"Oh, did she?"
Yeah, Betsy Davos. That's yeah. She
okay.
resigned, and yeah, I thought that was that was kind of surprised to me, because they were tight as can be. It's from the very beginning.
Well, this event is going to go down in infamy, right? I mean, this is one for the history books. One of those major events, like a Kennedy assassination. It's like that. Yeah. So, I mean, I would build too. I mean, this doesn't look good for anyone hanging around that office at this time.
Not at all.
So let's ask this question. So, let me show it back. Let me show it back. Hold on. So that, as my brother said, how do y'all feel about this? You're seeing the prophecies coming to pass, what was taught. These people still trying to say there's no 400-year prophecy. I want to see what y'all feel about this. I mean, based upon what we taught, based upon what your own research, I'm like, is this the 400-year prophecy? They're telling us, hey, y'all still here. How come the 400 years is over? What's y'all comments on that? Thank you, Sister Melinda, for the gift.
And that nation will I judge, and then I will bring you out with great substance. So what do we have to see first? Judgment. That's what we're seeing. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's my take. That passage says judgment, and then we leave.
Well, there is a certain somebody on the other night. And out of respect, I'm not going to say anything, but they were saying, "Look, this happens all the time." And I was thinking, it was kind of unsettling in my spirit. I said, "How is this thing going to happen all the time when all this stuff is just stacking on top of each other?" And I had that the spirit of deafness, because a lot of us have heard this, but we don't want to understand it, and that understanding now, whether or not you don't believe or didn't want to believe, we're too late for that. We're too late for that, because people know the sentiment of the United States. People know this. You think that this thing is going to go away all of a sudden? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And even Isaiah 49 says they're about to eat their own flesh. You know what that means? They're about to start kicking. If you're in a fight, you want to know what you do in a fight. You scrap. You use your hands, fists, whatever you can. You're biting somebody, you biting ears off, fingers off. That's why you always keep your fist balled on up, and you're very careful about your appendages, because your ears, nose, lips, cheeks, anything. And this is what that brawl is going to be. Bare knuckle, brawling.
Thanks for the gift, A.M. Stone.
And that's where, we're not understanding that. We're thinking, yeah, I don't think so. I hope not. I still need to invest in my cryptocurrency. And it's like, no, this is what's happening. Because the images that they're playing of, they're going to lock everything down. No. These folks are looking at this and they're saying, yep, it's time to ride. We got to ride with our brothers. So,
so my question would be to y'all. Okay. So, we got a lot of 400-year haters, right? They've been telling us, y'all, we wrong and all this type of stuff, listen to us, all this stuff. They also telling you to, do certain things, and the scripturally they're not very accurate. I'm like, okay, how do you feel about them never talking about the 400 years, never putting a position on this, and they want to teach you other things as well? I'm just saying,
Well,
you
they
know.
the people that's insensitive to the spirit, obviously, right? Because I mean, they should have been their radar should have been on when COVID hit. Their radar should have been on when it was a global pandemic that shut down the entire planet.
Yep.
Their radar is still not on, and yet they see a crisis in their capital, something they thought they would never see. Right? I mean, this is we're approaching the time where there appears that a civil war may kick off, but yet they are insensitive, and I think a lot of them are insensitive because of the doctrine of white Jesus, and that's not a racist statement. That's a certain type of doctrine, because the God of the Bible was always going to war. The God of the Bible was always seeking vengeance. The God of the Bible was fighting for Israel, but they don't understand that that's the same God today. And unless they repent, they're going to wake up to that.
Teo, you said what I was just thinking, but the thing about that is they didn't learn those things in Eurocentric Christianity because you didn't read the Old Testament very much. So they read about some wars and some fights, but
Thanks for the
the way
gift.
it really was, they didn't really understand that or see that. And I think that either they are blinded or they have been given over to a reprobate mind, because for you to read that Bible, just the 66 books, not the Apocrypha, but for you to read that book and not know what's going on, it is something wrong with you.
Well, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and they don't fear him. Why? Because the way the gospel has been taught. I mean, we have salvation in Christ. He saves our soul if we have faith in him. But that doesn't mean that the Father has abandoned all his plans on how he's going to deal with this nation, because we clearly see in the book of Revelation that he's bringing judgment to this planet. Right. And they do see that. And they do see that in the Old Testament as well. But, they say, surely not me. But these are the same people that has allowed their government to change to where they acknowledge marriages that are not biblical, that they allow people to identify their own gender instead of the gender that Father Yah has given them. And then they call themselves Christian, but they accept all of these policies that are anti-biblical.
And I like it how you said anytime you say white Jesus, people automatically think, oh, why you got to make it about race? But no, it's just that's a whole doctrine. Like you said, it's not about race. They actually made it about race, and it just so happens that, their Jesus is white, but the real Yeshua, the real Jesus Christ, nobody knows what he looks like. Right. So even if you make a statue of a black Jesus, of a Negro Jesus, of the true, what he looks like, what he may look like, it's still a graven image, and really nobody knows. But if you know what people he came from, then you kind of get an idea of what he could look like, and it's nothing like that Kurt Cobain looking, Jim Morrison looking guy that they put up there. But yeah. So
well, it's more about their policy and their belief system that reminds you of the 70s. What was that? The rainbow people and all of that in the 60s and 70s. What was that period?
It's like that was part of the New Age movement, wasn't it?
It was New Age, yeah, but it was the Age of Aquarius. That's what I'm looking for, right? That whole thing.
Stage, the hippie
Yeah, the hippie stage. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, and it's that kind of spirit, peace, love, and there was no bad, and everyone can do what they want. Isn't that where we are today? Everyone can do what they want and believe what they want as long as they love everybody. But you can't love everybody and not love the Father, because if you love the Father, you're going to obey his commandments, right? You're going to do his will. And this is where they had to love everybody. Well, there you go. There you go. You just got to act like it. And that's the disconnect, right? So, it's like when you start to, seek him, you start to understand that he doesn't play. You will fear him in a reverence way, right? Where you acknowledge who he is. You acknowledge the power he has, but you do know he loves those and he's quick to forgive if you truly repent, right? but you don't disrespect him by going into sin like we have done here, right? The church here has accepted just about everything today, and then they get on us we want to turn to the word and follow the Most High.
Well, actually, the more I learn, the more I study, I actually believe that they worship a different God. And I believe that the scriptures say that. And I believe it's just that the way we were taught in the Eurocentric church was a different way. Totally. It's everything that they taught us is backwards. And so for us to worship the God that we worship, that's in the Bible, that say he had hair like wool, feet like bronze, and we acknowledge that, okay, yeah, he did. He looked like that. And for somebody else to say, well, I don't know, maybe he looked like something else. That's a different God, because that's not the one that's in the Bible. And for him to say, I'm going to come back for my people, and for somebody to say, no, he coming back for everybody, that's a different God. And for somebody to say, well, no, he loved everybody, and he say, well, I hate Esau, and these other nations mean nothing to me, that's a different God. So they worshiping somebody else.
Yep. Thanks for the gift, Sandman.
And then I'd like to comment on that as well about it being a different God. Because think about it like this: let's say I pass away and everybody remembers me different. Like, you change my name, you change the way I look, you change my family, where I came from, you change my birthday, you change everything about me, and you're still trying to remember me. Are you really remembering me? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's not really me anymore.
Right. They took a sentence you may have said, and then turn it into a doctrine or a belief when it's out of context.
Yeah. So the whole, yeah, because I just have this type of discussion with all different types of people of if those Eurocentric believers, are they saved?
Exactly.
They do believe in redemption or salvation through Christ, but is that really the same Messiah?
If they are safe if they repent and they recognize who God
Yeah.
truly is, just like he says in his word.
I think it's a heart thing. I think if they're truly trying to follow the God of the Bible and trust in Yeshua for salvation, and they repented of their sins and they show forth the fruits of the Spirit, I believe they're saved. Right? It's the ones who don't have any fruit. That's the ones you got to question. The love, the joy, the peace, the long suffering, the gentleness, the mercy, the kindness. The ones who watch us, be shot in the street and don't say nothing, right? Who say it's our fault, all lives matter when we like trying to get justice. Is those people you got to put a question mark on. Like I say, it's above my pay grade, but I'm a fruit inspector, So I'm gonna show another article and get y'all comment on this. So Black Lives Matter activists see a big double standard in how police dealt with Trump insurrectionists. I'm not gonna read anymore. So what do y'all think about that? Big double standard?
Definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's definitely a big double standard. The minute Black people would have even have stepped one foot on the grass at the Capitol, the bombs would have been ringing in the air. They would have bombed that building. Had Black people stormed that building the way they did and climbed the walls and sat up in Mitch McConnell's office and Nancy Pelosi's office, they would have bombed that building. They would have evacuated everybody.
Yep. They would.
All this is just going to be a testimony for why they're going to be such severe judgment, because all this stuff is being reported. The news are reporting everything that's going on. And if they were truly about law and order and justice,
you're breaking up pretty bad.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm gonna try them again.
Okay, Steve, what do you think?
It's absolutely a double standard, but even going deeper, we know that Black Lives Matter is a puppet organization run by the ish. So just think about the level the depth of this deception there. Yes, if it were black folks, yes, absolutely. But at the same time, it's a front organization that's making the argument, you know what I mean, even as we speak. So, you know, the depth of this goes in layers that we can't even fully perceive, even at, you know, even now, as, you know, as we're talking, you know, so absolutely, it's absolutely there. But at the same time, you know, we have to be mindful of the Hegelian dialectic, that there's an endpoint to this. We might not necessarily see it as, you know, we're having an open discussion, but there is an endpoint that this power structure is waiting to initiate, you know, and I think they got what they looked for, what they were looking for yesterday. So.
Yeah, I think what's happening is, you know, I always like to go back to some of the stories they tell, like, you know, with Star Wars and stuff with the old Republic, right? And, you know, there was this war and all of these things, and they fought. No, the old Republic was overthrown, and there was a reset. They actually say that, right? And what we have waiting for the fall of America, right at the end of the 400 years, right? America is obviously being weakened. What do we have waiting for us? The Great Reset. Is it possible that all of this, right, that Trump is a part of it, and is to make America look so terrible, and they're going to bring in such dictatorial, you know, policies against us, that when the Great Reset comes as the heroes on the white horse, people going to say, okay, we for it. What y'all think?
Well, Jacoba, just going back to the disparaging response. Remember a couple years ago, it was a black lady that had taken a wrong turn, and she ended up kind of in the little barrier, or, you know, the off limits area, and she got shot and killed by the Capitol Police. You know, so imagine if that was all, you know, at least 1,000 black people in mass and in tactical gear. Let me just say, just not in our regular skin, but just in tactical gear coming down the line, you know, with some Black Lives Matter flags and things of that nature. Listen, nobody would have touched the gate, because there would have just been bodies just piled up before they could even get there, about 150 feet away. And you know, and that's where you had seen that earlier 6 months ago, 7 months ago. And now in the same breath, look, I don't know about you all, but is Biden going to be even better? You know, I mean, that's the whole concept. Either way, we lose, you know? So I look at it like this. The Great Reset is going to be coming, and, you know, here we are.
But, you know, even with the, you know, what we see, doesn't it fit the story, right? That at the fall of the greatest empire that ever existed in the world, right, there's this big old new system of righteousness and equality for the world, you know, vaccinated and programmed with mRNA, but it's all waiting there just to take over, just in time for the destruction of Babylon. I'm like, do you all see this as being part of a script? Because that's what I'm seeing. I'm like, it's obviously a script to me.
Well, I mean, Trump is the ideal guy to put before the world to make the world turn. I mean, the whole world really does hate Trump and therefore hate America. And so this, you know, this privileged position America once had has been tarnished. So, you know, I think this is a plan, and the Great Reset is a guarantee. Why do I say that? It's a guarantee because, I mean, it's been over, I guess, close to a year with this COVID situation, and the major industries like the airlines are not making money, right? The farmers can't get the workers out there like they need to this day. Tens of thousands of small businesses are out of business permanently. So, I mean, we can go on and on and on. And how do you recover from that, especially in a nation that was already tens of trillions in debt, right? So you have to do a great reset at this point. And it's not just America that's in this situation right now. It's nations worldwide that are financially destitute.
So here's the thing, okay? We have a call, right? in Congress for Trump to be removed by impeachment or the 25th Amendment. So if you want to take America down even further, right, what a poetic end it would be for Trump to be impeached, right? And that may not be the end of it, right? Maybe he's going to go to jail as well, because some people think he's going to run away and go to Israel. But wouldn't it be the icing on the cake for, because you're ending with the Capitol being overrun, right? America has never seen such, embarrassment, right? And now let's say you got 2 weeks till the next president comes, and now Trump ends up being impeached, because they tried to do it before, but maybe it's going to be successful this time, maybe not. But here's the thing: some of the Republicans, they're calling for them to be kicked out of the House or the Senate and all of this as well. Some of them are not going to want to go down with Trump, so they may make a deal and say, okay, look, we'll vote to impeach Trump so long as you let us stay in power. Is that a possible scenario y'all see could be on the horizon? Anybody?
I think anything is possible. I was watching MSNBC earlier, the Chris Hayes show, and I saw Nancy Pelosi saying she called for him to be impeached. And something about her saying that, I've seen her speak before, just didn't ring sincere to me. And I don't know why, but I think it's all just a big plan. And I think they got a plan A and a plan B and a plan C, so this might not be plan A, the way it's working out, but it's all a part of the plan. And it's all because of the 400 years, because these people, I didn't think that before, but I believe those people in the White House are aware of it. And this is what they are trying to do to fight and to stop it.
I believe that 100%. Thanks for the gift, Afro India. I mean, I really do believe. I mean, I don't believe in coincidences. I mean, we wake up, a bunch of black folks wake up, around 2015, 2016, saying, we're Israel. We know we're Israel. Here's the proof, all the proof that we need. We got our own, animal looking brothers who try to resist us on that, but then they can't defeat us, right? We keep winning. They take all the L's, right? And they can't stop this awakening. What they gonna do? I mean, people literally started leaving the country. People literally started going to Africa, and half of them don't even know they're Israel. Thanks for Sonia Rising. Thank you for the gift. So they don't even know they're Israel, right? I mean, T3 and me, how many people coming down there by you right now? I don't know, but I want to get your opinion on that one.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, you sound better.
Okay. There's lots of people coming here now. Every day, there's at least like a couple of families from the diaspora coming, whether they're coming from America or UK or everywhere, Jamaica, the islands. I've had people reach out to me, 2 families reach out to me from America, say that they're coming this week with their whole families. So, I mean, they're coming by the boatloads. They're coming.
So I want to show y'all this article here, and it's not just Israelites that's leaving, right? This is from November 2020. I may have showed this in one of our other shows. Okay, weary from political strife and a pandemic, some Americans are fleeing the country. Never ever seen before in the history of this nation, where people are literally fleeing the country, not planning on returning, right? They're taking their whole families and getting the heck out of Dodge, right? Now, all of this lines up, right, with, I want to show Jeremiah 50. I'm like, that's why I always say, right? Like I said, take it for what you want. But it says, cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest, for fear of the oppressing sword. They shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. I'm just asking a question, family panel. Is it possible that this is being fulfilled? Everybody's starting to leave. Everybody tired of the foolishness. Babylon is falling, as we see in Jeremiah 50:51. Some people still trying to tell you that America's not Babylon, but it sure looks like Babylon to me. What do y'all think?
It's Babylon.
Sure.
Yeah, it is undeniable.
So we see all these things happening, right? We see that Babylon is in confusion, turmoil, right? We see that there's not only financial issues, not only that we're on the brink of famine, right? All of these things. And America is the most hated nation on the planet. People used to think of America as the bastion of freedom. No longer do they believe that, right? Now, all of a sudden, America has enemies, right? Major enemies, China, Russia, and even some of its old allies. Is it just a coincidence that it looks like Jeremiah 50? It looks like Jeremiah 50:51. I'm just asking, what you think, Harris?
Well, didn't we say that when people start leaving, that's the cue that we need to kind of start getting our bags packed?
Yep.
And be right behind them?
Yep.
Because just think about this. When we were talking about this earlier, Mexico, Americans are leaving to go down to Mexico in droves.
Exactly.
And I don't think people understand that Mexicans and South Americans aren't even showing up. But remember, a couple of weeks ago, there was a fake story. I knew it was a fake story. They put that on out there. Oh, there's a caravan coming. A caravan is coming to do what? They can't work. And they're not going to come here to get sick. Because why? They're going to die here. So who's really coming? But
I was just going to say, wasn't there a recent article, though, about the Mexicans saying America is no longer their destination?
Yep.
That's correct. And that was, but there was another, it was a fake article. It's always a feel-good article. Oh, we're not that screwed up. So let's just, throw some, unconfirmed, uncorroborated, speculated type, nonsense on in there. Oh, they're coming though. That surge, that wave, and then you already know they're not coming. They've already said, why am I going to come here, risk my life for $1 that's crashing, for fruit that's not going to be picked? Because guess what? These folks are going out of business.
Exactly.
I don't think people understand that they needed this bailout because the farmers aren't getting their proper subsidies. Because people aren't buying stuff. And so you have to understand it's a chain reaction that's starting to go. There's not a coincidence of this thing happening. It's just that now they can try to blame other countries and say, look, this is why, this stuff is happening. And we our resources are now limited because now people are trying to do a coup. And no, that's not the case. The resources are limited because let me tell you how contracts work, especially when you're in commodities. China has the overall contract on America. This is why when you had your pork products, none of us should have really been caring, but they were caring about that. They had the shortage in bacon. They had the shortage in pork chops. They also had other commodities that was going on over to China first that didn't make its way to the American consumers because the contracts call for those exports to occur before anything gets done in a domestic capacity. So now you have to understand America still has to make some sort of money because if it doesn't, and the money drastically gets cut off, then guess what America can start doing? And this is what we were saying. These stimuluses, this funding from out of thin air, America is going to get called on it. And when America gets called on it, what the problem that happens is called inflation. And we're not even understanding things may start looking like a Venezuela with the COVID. So how you gonna? I don't know about you all, but I ain't got $3 million to get a loaf of bread.
Exactly.
Okay? Let me just
Thanks
tell
for the
you.
gift, Brother Bear.
Let me just tell you how Brother Karras is gonna make ends meet. I'm gonna pray that I can successfully, rob some folks.
That's
You
not
know?
in the Bible, Karis. You can't
Oh,
do
that
that.
is in the Bible. Listen, we ain't talking about that. We
Hey,
talking
hey,
about
hey,
the version of the Bible here.
hey,
Thou shalt
Bitcoin.
not die on an empty stomach. Hallelujah.
You know what's gonna happen now, Karis? They're gonna do a whole video on you
Oh,
now that you want to rob people.
Then let them do it because they're gonna be in the same thing. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you got to him before me? Darn it!" Because that's what.
Karis, you gonna be working with the enemy, man.
No, listen. I'm telling you, because listen, that's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen. People are gonna be doing a run. Look, I live in Florida, and these folks are gonna lose their minds. They're gonna storm every Publix. Rob, you're gonna be on that Gandy Publix. You're gonna have to just go on in there with a crew with you. Because
Well, Karis, don't you already have your
get yourself a SWAT team, Rob, because that's how it's gonna be. And we're laughing, but that's the God's honest truth, because that's where.
Where's your bug out bag, Karis? Don't you have your bug out bag ready?
Oh yeah, I got my bug out bag. Oh, I gotta make me a sandwich going down to the port. I'm gonna be doing some Grand Theft Auto on some yachts.
Say, Karis. read what Sister Melinda put right there.
Yeah, Brother Karras will use freedom in Christ. Okay, Mike says it's okay. Hey, hallelujah. Hey, I'm just using your word.
Is your name Mike or is your name
today? Ask for forgiveness tomorrow. Hallelujah.
I mean that isn't second Esdras. I'm just gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? So
Speaking of second Esdras, let me read that right quick so we can all start shutting down. All right. So I'm gonna share that for those who forgot. All right. So speak in the ears of my people the words of this prophecy that I will put in your mouth, says the Lord, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are trustworthy and true. Do not fear the plots against you, and do not be troubled by the unbelief of those who oppose you. So don't worry about all them other people who don't listen to us. For all unbelievers shall die in their unbelief. Y'all don't believe what we've been saying, y'all gonna die in your unbelief. Beware, said the Lord, I am bringing evils upon the world, the sword and famine, death and destruction, because iniquity has spread throughout every land, and their harmful doings have reached their limit. Therefore, said the Lord, I will be silent no longer concerning their ungodly acts that they impiously commit. Neither will I tolerate their wicked practices. Innocent and righteous blood cries out to me. Y'all been killing the Israelites, and the souls of the righteous cry out continually. I will surely avenge them, says the Lord. I'm going to avenge what you did to my people, and will receive to myself all the innocent blood from among them. See, my people are being led like a flock to the slaughter. Y'all trying to kill us. Y'all trying to put that vax in us, but it ain't going to work, right? I will not allow them to live any longer in the land of Egypt. God coming for us. Come on now. But I will bring them out with a mighty hand and with an uplifted arm, and will strike Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all this land. Y'all don't think y'all Egypt? Just go ahead and look at those those obelisks over there in Washington and stuff, right? And all of the stuff that Freemasonic stuff. So, but let me continue. Let Egypt mourn in its foundations because of the plague of chastisement. See, America, y'all being chastised. Y'all don't get it. And castigation that the Lord will bring upon it. Let the farmers that till the ground mourn, because their seeds shall fail to grow, and their trees shall be ruined by blight and hail and by terrible tempers. You think 2020 was bad? Alas, for the world and for those who live in it. Look at that. Hold on. Alas, for who? The world and those who live in it. Thank you for the gift, T3 and me. For the sword and misery draw near them, and nation shall rise up to fight against nation. Isn't that what Yeshua said? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, with swords in their hands. For there shall be unrest among people, growing strong against one another. They shall in their might have no respect for their king or the chief of their leaders. Is that not what we're seeing today? They have no respect for Trump. They have no respect for the Senate. They have no respect for the Congress. I'm just saying, for a person will desire to go into a city and shall not be able to do so. Certain places you can't go into, right? Like certain places of New York, they're going to have another wave of corona. They're probably going to usher in martial law after what happened in the Capitol, and they go after these people who went in there. I'm just asking, for a person with desire to go into a city and shall not be able to do so because of their pride, the city shall be in confusion. Is that not what we see? The houses shall be destroyed and people shall be afraid. I've seen houses blown up. I'm just saying, y'all may not have seen it in the other video, but I've seen houses blown up. People shall have no pity for their neighbors, but shall make an assault upon their houses with the sword. I've seen that as well. And plunder their goods because of hunger for bread and because of great tribulation. See how I'm calling together all the kings of the earth to turn to me, says God, from the rising of the sun and from the south, from the east and from Lebanon, to turn and repay what they have given them. Just as they have done to who? My elect. No. Just as they have done to my chosen until this day, so I will do and will repay into their bosom. Thus says the Lord God, my right hand will not spare the sinners, and my sword will not cease from those who shed innocent blood on earth. And a fire went forth from his wrath and consumed the foundations of the earth, and sinners like burnt straw. Alas, for those who sin and do not observe my commandments, says the Lord, I will not spare them. Depart, you faithless children, do not pollute my sanctuary. For God knows all who sin against him. Therefore, he will hand them over to death and slaughter. Already calamities have come upon the whole earth. Is that not the case? And you shall remain in them, says Yah. God will not deliver you because you have sinned against him. He's not going to deliver y'all. I told you it was time to repent, but y'all ain't listen. What a terrifying sight appearing from the east. The nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. This is what's coming up next. And from the day that they set out, their hissing shall spread over the earth, so that all who hear them will fear and tremble. Also the Caramonians, which is the Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth like wild boars from the forest, and with great power they shall come and engage them in battle, and with their tusks they shall devastate a portion of the land of the Assyrians with their teeth. And then the dragons, remembering their origin, shall become still strong, and if they combine in great power and turn to pursue them, then these shall be disorganized and silenced by their power, and shall turn and flee. And from the land of the Assyrians, an enemy in ambush shall attack them and destroy one of them, and fear and trembling shall come upon their army, and indecision upon the kings. Judgment on Babylon. See the clouds from the east and from the north to the south. Their appearance is exceedingly threatening, full of wrath and storm. They shall clash against one another, and shall pour out a heavy tempest on the earth in their own tempest. And there shall be blood from the sword as high as a horse's belly, and a man's thigh, and a camel's hock. And there shall be fear and great trembling on the earth. Those who see that wrath shall be horror stricken. They shall be seized with trembling. After that, heavy storms, clouds shall be stirred up from the south and from the north and another part of the west. But the winds from the east shall prevail over the cloud that was raised in wrath, and shall dispel it. And the tempest that was to cause destruction by the east wind shall be driven violently toward the south and west. Great and mighty clouds full of wrath and tempest shall rise and destroy all the earth and its inhabitants, and shall pour out upon every high and lofty place a terrible tempest, fire, hail, flying swords, floods. Let me read that. A terrible tempest, fire and hail, bombs and missiles, and floods of water, so that all the field, that's just my interpretation, and all the streams shall be filled with the abundance of those waters. Thanks for the gift, Philip Turner. They shall go on steadily to Babylon and blot it out. They shall come to it and surround it. They shall pour out on its tempest and all its fury. Then the dust and smoke shall reach the sky, and all who are around it shall mourn for it, and those who survive shall serve those who have destroyed it. I'm not going to read anymore, family. My question is to the panel before we end this thing. Can you see this happening? Do you see this happening? Is Second Ezra's coming to pass, or is Jeremiah 50:51 coming to pass? Is the fall of Babylon here? That's my question.
Yes, and it's just the beginning. It's it's gonna get worse for the nations. In my opinion, I think Yah's true people will have a front row VIP seats on at the show. You know, you might get a little wet, you know, from being so close, but other than that, you know, I think and it may get a little worse for Israel, the grafted in and the natural branches, because isn't it prophesied that the dragon will persecute Israel at the time of the Exodus?
Revelation 12.
So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if while being protected from Yah, from his judgment, there's still gonna be some the enemy still gonna be the dragon, you know, trying to get to you. And if you let him in, you know, he can, but you gotta block him out, you know, and just keep your steadfast in your faith. That's the best advice I can give, and repent for your sins, you know, and call on Yeshua.
So, what do you all think of the people who still can't see this stuff? I mean, to me, it's like, I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, everything's coming to pass. That's how I see it. What do you think about all of the people who still say, you know, this ain't happening and nothing's going to change? All things remain the same since the fathers fell asleep. How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that, you know, I've followed a lot of these quote unquote truth you know, channels and things like that for a long time. And, you know, it's gotten to the place to where, I mean, these folks are just willfully ignorant, you know, and, you know, I could name names, but, you know, these folks will do 1
I want to hear
2 hour,
names.
you know, studies on these different things. Okay. It's, you know, it's, I mean, all right. What is it? The Parable of the Vineyard, and what's the other one? Now You See TV, I think. You know, these different places, you know, and even what's his name? Rob Ski, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the handwriting is on the wall, man. Like, I mean, you know, this, you know, for you to be a quote unquote seeker of the truth of the Most High, and for you to be willfully ignorant, you see what's happening. You've even mentioned Babylon and the destruction of America before. You see all this happening right around the same time. You've made these little kind of snarky comments about Hebrew Israelites or whatever. You know, this is not a head issue. It's a heart issue, and they're gonna be held account for that. Now, again, you know, go back to what, you know, Brother Rob was saying. We all have to walk in repentance, you know, unto the Father through Yeshua, and be in right standing with Him. But for me, it is unavoidable to see everything that's happening, the sequence as it's happening, and say that this is not a real thing, you know, and that's just what it,
So,
what
Brother
it
Steve,
is.
let me ask you, you know, so how long have you been following the ministry?
Y'all,
Yeah.
For 2 years. So literally within a month of me finding out who I was, the Most High led me to y'all, and I've been following y'all for 2.5 years now. Yeah.
So have you seen the prophecy teachings?
Absolutely.
So based upon what you saw and what you're seeing today, does it look like that's coming to pass to you?
Yeah, we up in it, man. The cake is in the oven. You know what I'm saying? It's
almost baked, right?
Bruh, it's, you know, it's halfway there, man. You know, so but the thing is that, you know, you have people who've been in this game for 10, 15 years, this truth thing or whatever. Y'all know, you see this. Y'all been talking about it for so long, but now at the end of it, when it's pointing to something different. Now you just you willfully skip whole passages.
Yeah,
you know, about
exactly.
stuff, you know, like, come on, man, you know. So, and last thing, by the way, Bitcoin is knocking on 40 grand. All these digital currencies are blowing up. Just a gut call. Something's about to go down. I would jump in it now if you can, but that's just me. So
yeah. So I just want to give y'all a warning on that. I think you can make a ton of money right now, but see, when that great reset happened, pull your money out quick, because you're gonna have a whole new system.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So any final comments, family? Let's start with you, Minister Tayu.
Yeah, not much to say here. Well, let me say, we definitely not going back. The ship has left the dock, right? That should be obvious. I don't know why people can't see it. I think They are waiting for the pre-trib rapture, I think, most of them. And if you don't know, there is no such thing as a pre-trib rapture. Okay, there's the first resurrection and the second resurrection. Born again believers will be part of the first resurrection. That's what it's about. But that's what they're holding on to, thinking they won't have to endure certain judgments that are coming on the earth. And now, as things are falling into place, it's not lining up the way they thought it would, right? They didn't realize Israel still existed. And now that Israel still exists, they say it doesn't matter. Okay. But when Israel was those people in the Middle East, it mattered, right? When it was those people, it was Yah's plan, right? It was his plan for his people. It was prophetic. Now that true Israel is a Negro people, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. And you're watching right now how much it matters to Father Yah. And for me personally, I vowed I'm not letting go of the issue of slavery. I'm not letting go of the justice that has to happen for that. And I'm praying for it. And I know Father Yah is going to avenge his people, right? Because to this very day, slavery is tied to why we suffer. Yes, we were in captivity, based on Father Yah's will, but they still made a huge mistake the way they treated us. So,
the scripture says they went too far.
They went too far.
Any
Exactly.
final comment?
Yeah, I just want to say that I think that there are levels of people being awake, and some of it is choice, and some of it is because they are so blinded by Eurocentric Christianity, they just steeped in it, and they just cannot get away from it or get past it. And I also think that the Lord has blinded some people because he knows their hearts. So it's no need in them being awake because it won't change anything. It won't change their heart. And I think that I'm beginning to think that when they say it's a third of us who will not make it, I believe it's going to be some real believers in there too. But I believe the bulk of those people will be people who refused, who heard it, and who just refuse to believe it for whatever reason. And just like I'm saying, there's levels of awakeness with the Lord, with the Most High. It's no levels. It's either you with him or you against him. And if you're not with him 100%, then you're not with him. And you will suffer because of that. And that's all I got to say.
All right. Brother Karras.
Yeah, so here's a couple of things I just want people to kind of digest on as we're wrapping up. A lot of stuff that had happened earlier this week did not get any type of mention. And, I had to look at this to see if this was accurate. But Iran had issued an Interpol warrant for the arrest of Trump. You also had Iran stating that Trump will not be safe anywhere on this earth. And then you actually had Iraq having another warrant issued through Interpol. And here's the thing, family. Do you not think that this new Democratic Congress and presidency won't hand Trump up to The Hague? This is something that you never seen before, because I'm telling you, Trump is fighting for his life. And all Trump sees and remembers is how they did Saddam Hussein on December 31st, 2005. Dropping through that floor in the hangman's noose. Because think about this. This is where we're at. Two arrest warrants for Interpol. That means if he stays in the United States, You know he's going to get charged with this stuff. They're going to charge him after the fact. They're going to charge him for crimes against humanity. And if he leaves the country without any, because he's not going to have any type of diplomatic cover of any type, they're going to arrest him. So he has really dug a hole. And I mean, if I was him, whether or not this is theater or whatever you want to call it, if you're in survival mode, which I believe Trump is now, Trump may have been sticking to a script, but I think the script really got real. You know, he's just thinking, oh, this is just going to be reality TV. Reality is you got suckered. So
well, you know, the protocols state that they were going to throw a whole bunch of people on the streets, and even some of their own people are going to get caught up in this whole crisis. But they are a necessary sacrifice for the whole, right? So Trump may have been going along with the plan, but you know, he's one of the necessary sacrifices.
He can be. I just don't want to be. He can take my spot. I'm not trying to sacrifice for nothing. Look. I want to get my money and bounce. I'm sick of this thing.
Do you think he's trying to negotiate now, and so that he cannot be a sacrificial lamb?
I would. I'd be giving everybody what they want, and I'd be like, so long as y'all don't come after me. Look, I'm cool. I'm gonna leave early. Y'all can kick me out, whatever. Just so long as we have an agreement, I'm not going to jail. That's what I would do. But, hey.
You look, I'm telling you, they're going to offer. Trump is going to offer reparations because it's going to be like, black people, you need y'all to protect me. I got reparations. You help me on that. I got your check.
Yeah. All right, brother Rob, final comment.
So I think that there's more and more likely leading to chaos. Like there's so many different things that could happen, but it's like there's less and less paths to an unchaotic end. It just seems like that's the way we're going, to more and more chaos. And whether it be I think it's more looking like the Trump supporters getting even worse come inauguration day. And then you're going to have a whole Democratic Congress and presidency. So all three branches of government, two of the three branches of government, there's obviously the Supreme Court's a different one, but two of the three branches of government are controlled by Democrats. And what we're going to see are national COVID restrictions that we didn't have before. Like he's already come out and said all federal buildings are going to have mask mandates, and I think they're going to somehow try to put a national mask mandate at some point. Probably going to do a national lockdown at some point, which we haven't had. There's certain states and cities and districts have been locked down, but we didn't have. America was never on lockdown, and I think that we're going to see that soon. Just got to get ready. The point I wanted to make was what happens on January 20th will be more of a reason for them to crack down and take away more freedoms, and really lock America down, because it'll be kind of like revenge or backlash or response, if you will, to that demonstration. They'll say, oh, we can't have that again. What happened on January 20th? We got to lock down these streets. So it's going to be interesting nonetheless, and I am still excited because I'm just sitting here. I'm not getting involved, but that's a civil war. That's a Gentile civil war or other nations. It's not Yah's people, and like the words of Yacoba, I'm rolling with Israel.
All right, brother Steve, any final comment?
No, I mean, you guys kind of nailed it. I mean, again, Second Esdras, Jeremiah, Isaiah, all kind of pointing towards this time, and and again, I think all of the right excuses are in place now for martial law. What Brother Rob was talking about, and again, this is a time that we need to continue to be on our face, seeking the Most High, and making sure we're following the Spirit. So that's it.
All right. So, family, interesting times. Make sure you're right with the Most High. And also, I want y'all to make sure you support our brother Eshawn Burgundy coming out with his new album tomorrow. Minister, tell you, didn't you say something about tonight or something like that?
I think I got it wrong. I think it's tomorrow.
Okay, well, make sure you all support him and his music. I like it. And also, I want to let you all know that I'm working on something dealing with, our land, where Jerusalem may be, because there's two options I'm looking at. You all know, one of the options already, but there's another option of an area that I've been looking into, and it's real interesting. But also, it's funny that with all the evidence we have for who we are, people look for like offshoot things to try to disprove it. That just boggles my mind, and I'm talking about JewCon, and it just boggles my mind. So anyway, also I want to let you all know that it's interesting that the more you dig, the more information you find to validate who we are. And I'm gonna share one with you, and it's from Leo Africanus, the history and description of Africa, and it says, not so much as the name of this malady was ever known unto the African before Ferdinand, the king of Castile, expelled all Jews out of Spain. So we all know about him expelling the Jews out of Spain. After return of which Jews into Africa. So he says the Jews who were kicked out of Spain returned to Africa. So if you're returning to some place, that's where you're from. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah.